How does this work? It's been a while again. I'm not sure actually. Alright. How's it going, guys? My name is Nexi, and oh my god, that felt good to say. What? That felt so weird to say, actually. But I'm back once more. I'm probably not gonna be back for a while. But I just thought to make this video because it's something that I found interesting and that I wanted to do. But today we are ranking the 2023 F1 drivers. As the whole grid has now been announced, right as the winter break begins, so we have nothing else to do for 2 months, I thought, why not do this, you know? It'll take 1 day off my 2 month wait, and but yeah, this 2023 driver grid is definitely it's definitely interesting. All right. So the tiers are championship contenders, very good, overperforming, at expectations, below expectations, and bad as fuck. Right? The difference between overperforming and very good is like if you're very good, then you're like outperforming your teammate as well, like Lando Norris was last year. But then overperforming is just like, all right, you're doing better than you were expected to do. But let's get started then. Kevin Magnussen. I think he had a very good start to the 2022 season, but then the Haas just kind of dropped off. I don't think the Haas will be a very good car in 2023. And I also think that Hulkenberg will be a better teammate to Magnussen than Schumacher was. So I don't think Kevin's gonna do well. I'm gonna put him in below expectations because I just don't think he's gonna do that well. Next up, Sergio Perez. Now this, let me just check if I'm recording. I'm paranoid. This is an interesting one. Sergio, he did well this year. He wasn't allowed to race Max for a lot of the year, but when he was very, very decent at it. He won obviously Monaco and Singapore, both very, very niche tracks, but Monaco he arguably won only because of Ferrari's mistake, and Singapore just was Singapore, I guess. I don't think he would have won had Max started on pole, as he basically should have with that fuel mistake. But Checo's been very decent. I think he'll meet expectations for the next season. I don't think he'll be in the championship fight. I think he'll be helping Max to get his third. But I think Checo is a very solid driver, but I don't think he'll be doing anything unexpected of him. Then a rookie, Robert Schwartzman.
What? What the fuck?
Logan Sargent. Not Robert Schwartzman. Wow. He's one of 2 rookies on the grid next year. I'm technically the rookies as well, actually. Never mind. He's one of 3 rookies on the grid next year. So he's gonna be partnering Alex Albon in the Williams. I don't think Albon is a great driver. I think for what he is, I think Sargent will be overperforming his expectations. I don't think people expect that much of him, but I think he'll be actually outperforming Albon in that car. And that brings me to Alex Albon, who I think will go below expectations. I don't think Albon is good enough. I think he got off with a bad teammate in Latifi. Obviously his stint at Red Bull wasn't the best, but that's not what I'm judging him off. I'm judging him off purely my own, my own expectations of him, and I don't think he'll do that well. Nick De Vries. Now, it's an interesting one. I think he'll be at expectations, but I don't think he'll overperform the car. Carlos Sainz. The one-time race winner and the one-time pole sitter in 2022, was he? No, he was 2-time pole sitter in 2022. He wasn't up to Leclerc's speed, but I think this year he'll have a chance to be very good. I don't think he'll be in the championship fight. I don't think Ferrari will be in the championship fight. but I think Carlos will be very good. Pierre Gasly. So obviously moving from AlphaTauri to Alpine, he had a bad 2022. He's not maybe been good enough in this era of cars, maybe not used to this era of cars, but we definitely need to see better from him in 2023. I think his expectations are quite high for this season, but I also think he can match them. I don't think he'll be the world beater he was at one point at AlphaTauri or Toro Rosso. Nico Hülkenberg returning to the grid after 2 years inactive. Now, I think Hülkenberg is better than Schumacher. I do think Hülkenberg is better than Schumacher, but I also don't. I think he's been set unrealistic expectations from his 2020 stand instance with Racing Point. I don't think Nico Hülkenberg will do well. I think he'll be in the same column as Magnussen. Fernando Alonso, the biggest shock move I think of this year to go to Aston Martin. I think he'll overperform. Alonso usually overperforms his cars. I think he'll do better than what Vettel did this year. I think Alonso has more natural talent to bring a car further up than it should be, but I think also Vettel has more consistency and Vettel is better when it comes to fighting for championships, but I think Alonso will do better than Vettel did this year. I think he'll be overperforming that Aston Martin. Oscar Piastri for McLaren now, and I don't know. I genuinely don't know about Oscar Piastri. He's been very good in F2, but he has spent a year away and he's going to a team with Lando Norris already as the number one driver. I don't know. I don't think Piastri will overperform. I'm kind of in between these two tiers, like below expectations and at expectations. How far have I recorded? 10 minutes. Alright, I'll just put him at expectations because I don't think they are that high, the expectations for him. Guan Yu Zhou, very good rookie season, and I think he'll overperform the car and maybe even Valtteri Bottas for next year. Esteban Ocon now. I said Gasly's going to be beaten by him, and I do think he's going to. I think Ocon is going to be overperforming the car, although his racing has been a bit sometimes, especially against his teammate and against Gasly. That might cost him more than it did against Alonso. I think he's a very quick driver, obviously already a race winner, so I think he'll be overperforming that Alpine and doing better than Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen, this year's champion, will absolutely contend for a championship next year. I think Verstappen is the best driver on the grid right now. He's the quickest, absolutely. He has the best car. It'll be interesting to see what Mercedes can throw at him next year. I don't think Ferrari will challenge, but who knows? They could build a car that is a rocket ship for next season, but I think Verstappen will absolutely be the favorite for next season. Yuki Tsunoda, I don't know about Yuki. He had a good season. I think he'll be below expectations, but I also think he'll outperform De Vries. Lando Norris, I think Norris is one of the best, if not the best driver not signed to a top three team right now. I think he'll be very good. He provided us the only non-Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull podium this year at Imola. And I think overall he'll just be very good. If McLaren can give him a package, he can absolutely deliver. And I think he'll just be very good this year. Lance Stroll. Now, this next one is going to be extremely controversial. I think Charles Leclerc will be at expectations, nothing more. I don't think Leclerc will overperform. I don't think Leclerc will be very good. I don't think Leclerc can be a championship contender next year. With his 2022 season, he's made many mistakes that are on his own, on his team, or just plain mistakes. I don't think Ferrari can challenge for a title. I don't think Leclerc can challenge for a title. I think he'll be at the same level of Checo. I think Sainz will be quicker than him next year. George Russell obviously had a blinder of a 2022 season, but it needs to be taken into account how much Hamilton was testing on that Mercedes. After the season break, Hamilton outqualified him in all but one race, and that was Brazil, I believe, where Hamilton couldn't get a proper lap in. So I think Russell will be very good for next season. I don't think he'll be challenging for a championship. Valtteri Bottas. Now, I said earlier that Guan Yu Zhou might outperform him this year, and I do think he will. I think Valtteri will be below expectations. I think when Zhou got more used to the car, I think they became just closer and closer. I think in 2023, I think Zhou is going to outperform Bottas. And last but not least, Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's going to be a championship contender for me if Mercedes can build him a car from the get-go. I think he was one of the better drivers this year after they took off the sensors of his car and after he got used to the Mercedes. Obviously, the start of the season wasn't great, but after Canada, it was absolutely biblical driving from Lewis. I think he'll be a championship contender this year. I think we'll have a Verstappen-Hamilton title fight again, which honestly I couldn't ask for more. But this is my tier list. You can go make your own. The link is down in the description. You can argue with me in the comments. I'll take criticism. I believe this Leclerc and this Perez might bring up some controversy, or the fact that only Lewis and Max are here. But anyway, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. I really like making videos again. It's such a good feeling to make videos every once like 2 years. It's so good. So don't expect me to see too much of me in the coming months. Maybe I'll get the motivation again and make some more videos. But for now, not gonna happen. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. You know, I might do more videos. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.